So I was watching the new Selena cooking show on HBO Max, and I was watching episode 4 with Candice Kumai, I think that's how it's pronounced, and they make some banana chocolate chip matcha cookies, and I was like, oh my god, I have a single overripe banana that I've been looking to do something with. I should write down this recipe, so I wrote it down, and I thought I would make it with the video camera with you all, because hobbies, right? One of the things I liked about this recipe when I saw that they made it was it makes a really reasonable batch, and it just seemed really easy and something fun I could try, and then I could also do it with this, and it could be something fun I could do, and hobbies, right? I decided to do Selena look. So it's Selena inspired look. She does this like bun, middle bun, wears it a couple times on the show. I did like my best glowy natural makeup. I'm just like so glowy from like all this time I've spent in the sun, right? Like as if I'm not just in my house for weeks on end, never going outside. Oh, also I dyed my hair since you've all last seen me. So now it's like ginger. New things all around. The recipe calls for 1 ripe banana, 1/2 cup coconut oil. I just have vegetable oil. I'm just using what I have in the house, so it's not quite the same recipe. 1/3 cup sugar, 1 tablespoon vanilla, 1 cup flour. They use gluten-free flour, but I don't have that here. It also takes 1 cup of oats, a pinch of salt, a teaspoon of baking powder. It also called for a tablespoon of matcha powder, but I don't have that. I think that would be really fun to try, but like I said, I mostly just was like, oh, this is perfect because I needed something to do with this banana. I've used bananas as substitutions in like, obviously banana bread. I've used it also in pancakes, and then like less oil and water. But I haven't made cookies with them, so I think that'll be fun. Oh, I think I made like muffins too. You know, like banana bready things, but like a cookie was new to me. I'd never heard that. So I'm excited to try that. And then dark chocolate chips to taste. Actually, in the recipe it shows, it says semi-sweet, and then when they're cooking they do dark chocolate. I just happen to have dark chocolate as well, semi-sweet. I'm gonna go with dark chocolate. And then you really just mix everything in order. It doesn't take multiple bowls. I'm really into that simplicity. You just mix all the ingredients as you add them. And I just preheat the oven to 350, and then like you put it all in. She did line the tray with foil, which I always do anyway, plus my baking trays are destroyed. Not by me, but by various people I've lived with. And so I always line them with foil. The interesting thing about this is she does say to grease your foil. Usually foil is like non-stick, but she still has you grease it. Actually, I usually use parchment paper, but my grocery store has been out of parchment paper for the last month. I haven't been able to restock, so I have been using foil because of that. I'm gonna go light on the grease because I did notice when Selena made them, the bottoms of her cookies burnt more than the rest, and I'm hypothesizing that could have been because maybe she greased her foil more heavily, and that caused the bottoms of the cookies to cook faster than the rest, like, you know, sizzling something in oil on your pan, like the oil cooks it faster. That's my theory. So I'll get started. Start with our banana. Definitely a ripe boy. I always tend to just have like 1 banana that gets passed for me. You know, if I buy a bunch, like no matter what, there's just like one that doesn't quite make the cusp of being able to like eat it as is. I would much rather eat an underripe banana than an overripe banana. I don't like the grainy texture. I think a lot of people are that way. But then they're great to use for other stuff. So they just said to mash it. I'm gonna do that. Wow. I had a lot of fun making and editing the Robert Pattinson's pasta cooking video I did. Granted, I was like in a very different mood that day. I was in a very different mood. I think I was a little bit more like funnier, I don't know. Whereas now I'm like, I was channeling his chaotic energy at the time, which I think is what made me like want to make the recipe so bad. And then yesterday I was watching Selena, and now I'm wanting to channel that lovely, calming, home time, I have friends kind of energy, even though I don't have any friends here helping me cook, but that's fine. That's fine. This recipe doesn't make that many cookies, so I can eat them all. And there's banana in it, so like it's healthy. Next is the half cup of coconut oil, which I'm using vegetable. I would actually usually use canola oil. That's what I usually bake with, but I just don't have any. I actually need to get more oil soon. I went just a little under a half cup. I know this is a dry cooking thing. I just like don't care. My mom never used the actual wet ones when I was growing up, and it's just like a habit that I have yet to change, even though I know technically the other way is proper. Yeah, so they had more of like a paste because of the coconut oil. Whereas here it's just like, I can't tip the bowl because it's just gonna pour out. Here we just got more of a straight liquidy thing. Yeah, mix it in real good. Self-care vibes. Improving self vibes. Being curious and learning things vibes. Next is the 1/3 cup sugar. And like I said, unlike some other recipes where you've got your liquids first and your dries separate, they just incorporated everything after they added it as far as I could tell one by one. So that's what I'm doing. The tablespoon vanilla. I do not have a tablespoon vanilla. Yeah, I have maybe a teaspoon of vanilla, and that's probably being generous. I am thinking, so I was gonna make pancakes with my ripe banana, but then I ended up making French toast because I had the burger buns left over from the Rob pasta thing. And I was like, man, I already have like French toast and leftover French toast. I don't really need to make pancakes right now. Plus I made pancakes on Thursday and I ate them for breakfast Thursday, Friday. Then I made French toast, ate French toast Saturday, Sunday. I'm like, I need a break from the pancakes. Breakfast foods, fried breakfast foods. Cookies are entirely different, right? 1 cup flour. So, but with my French toast, I just, on impulse, I had an idea. The way I learned to make French toast in the family, we don't use cinnamon. I know some people use cinnamon, but we don't. My dad actually uses cinnamon, and I'm always like, no, I don't like it. And I'm a fan of cinnamon, but like, I do not like it in my French toast. Probably just because that's like if I got it at a restaurant, but if I'm eating like our home French toast, like the cinnamon just like completely changes the flavor, and I'm like, it's wrong. But September's around the corner, and I'm trying to get fall and Halloween is like my favorite season. I mean, spring is maybe actually like my favorite season now. It used to be fall, now it might be spring. However, fall still has my favorite activities. Halloween, corn mazes, pumpkin patch picking and stuff. And I'm always looking forward to those. And I'm really disappointed going into this fall for multiple reasons. One being obviously like it's quarantine, so most of the activities won't be happening that I usually get to enjoy. And second of all, my boyfriend broke up with me, so like last year I really enjoyed it. I just had a great time doing fall things with him, and I was really looking forward to doing them again this year. I actually made a vlog about going to corn maze. It was his first time ever going to a corn maze, and like that was really fun. And we made our own Halloween costumes. We did a couple costumes, we made them. It was really my first time making a costume for myself that way. His birthday is also in October, so there's just a lot of things about the fall that I was excited for and are no longer going to exist in the same capacity. So I'm trying to enjoy some fall stuff in other ways, like flavors. I got way off topic. Also, I'm stitching through a spatula because I find once like flour gets involved, it always likes to like hide in pockets. So the spatula is just like the better way to go to make sure you don't have any dry areas hiding. It started like raining pretty heavily outside. Anyways, I'm trying to get excited for fall because it's going to be a very different fall, and it's something that I'm normally really excited about. So I got some scented candles. I got a pumpkin souffle scented candle and an espresso scented candle. They just feel like fall flavors to me. They're my favorite candles. They're sold by Anthropology, and I think they're called like Bougerie brand. And I think they just like smell amazing. I love all their candles. So I went ahead and I like splurged and got those, and then I made a pumpkin spice maple syrup for my French toast, and it was so simple. I was just like, oh, maybe I'll throw something together, and I put maple syrup, pumpkin pie spice, and a pinch of salt in a container. Just mixed it together. I let it sit for a little bit because I only have kosher salt instead of iodized, so I think it needs a little time to incorporate and dissolve. And then I just poured that on top, and it was so delicious. I was shocked. But I was also thinking that might be a really great pumpkin spice, like coffee flavor syrup. So I might try doing that and like trying to recreate maybe like Starbucks pumpkin spice. I don't want to say latte because I don't really have the tools to make a latte here. I don't have any sort of like frothing. I don't have a blender I can use. But I can put it in some coffee, and I thought that might be a fun idea. So, alright, we added the flour in. This looks, good. It looks fine. It looks maybe a little bit more wet than theirs was. So now I need a cup of oats. So right, that's how, I'm talking about this because, right now we're channeling Selena and self-betterment and learning, and, my bar is way lower. Like, I bought some candles where she's, like, learning to and giving to church. Whatever, I can't compare myself to her, but I feel like I should just stop talking. I feel like I'm just digging myself into a hole. Here it is now. Wow, oh my god, I did not preheat my oven. So dumb. Okay, a pinch of salt. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of baking powder at the same time because why not? Why not? I'm sure that's in there because they don't have egg, so it's a rising agent. I mean, like, I guess flour. Is flour a rising agent? I guess you have self-rising flour. That's a thing. I can put these away now. Mix it again. It is going cats and dogs. Another idea I have for a project is we have this little backyard space. It's maybe like 4 by 4 feet. It was where our trash can and recycling bin, like big ones, were kept. But we lost those. And now there's nothing back there. There's like a trash can lid and some weeds. And I need some cleaning up, but I'm like, since I'm working from home and I'm not getting outside much, maybe it would be fun for me to like get an outdoor chair and clean up the area back there. I don't want to call it like a entire like makeover. Like, of course I would love to do like a fun makeover moment and like paint the fence because it's like this like rust red, barn red color. But we rent and I don't own the space. I don't necessarily want to like hang too much out there. But I think it'd be fun. A fun place for me to go outside on, you know, like a morning and drink my coffee before work, just to try and get myself some more outdoor time. Because I don't think this is, you know, going to be ending anytime soon. So now I'm adding the chocolate chips. So that's a little project I have in mind for myself, especially because I have the week of Labor Day off. And I don't really know what I'm going to do with myself during that time. So I was trying to think of a little more involved projects that could try and just make it feel like I've accomplished something or done something in that time, since that's something I'm like struggling with right now. I have been in my planner, especially since like I don't necessarily have plans coming up or anything, I have been trying to like write down little things I've accomplished during the day. So like for Saturday I wrote down that like I cleaned the kitchen, or Monday I wrote down that like I exercised a little bit. So just trying to focus on things I've done that are productive and like feel them at the end of the day, instead of, even though maybe I did spend the majority of my time, you know, sitting on a couch working and watching Netflix, or on a weekend just watching Netflix. It just reminds me that like I did do something, even if it was small. I don't think I'm gonna grease the sheet. I think I'm not going to. I don't think it's necessary. Maybe it is, but I've never had cookies stick to aluminum foil before, so. Plus, I feel like there's enough oil in this recipe that between like the banana and the other oil, that it shouldn't be too, yeah, that it should sort of have its own means of not sticking. I made the recipe on the back of the Toll House chocolate chip bag, and I'm a huge fan, I'm a huge fan of like Toll House pre-made dough. I think that like the Whole House recipe though, it just like never, I'm just not a fan. I have a little bit extra, but I'm gonna use this little baby tray that's from my toaster oven. Put them in. Here they are. This is like my thumbnail, like. And I will let you know when they're done. I'll show you. Alright. I'm just gonna pick. Bottoms are quite brown. Hang on, I guess they're done. They look really soft. Alright, just initial impressions. They're very light on top, but I can tell that the bottoms are pretty golden. I do think if they stayed much longer, they will burn on the bottom. They seem really soft. They're giving me a little bit of like little banana bread mound vibes. Ooh. That tasted really flowery. That little tiny nibble I got just tasted like flour. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I probably should have added some cinnamon to these just because like I don't have the matcha, which I'm sure provided a lot of extra flavoring and might have covered up that flour flavor. Plus I was short on vanilla by a significant amount. See how blonde they are? Here's the top. That's the bottom. Alright, I'll let them cool some and like I guess we'll come back to you. Were they easy to make? Yes. Was it mostly just like things I had around? Yes. Like, do they like taste fine? Like, yeah. Having the dark chocolate in there covered up the flour-y taste, but if I got a bite that didn't have dark chocolate, I think that would be less pleasant. They're they're kind of cakey. They're kind of cakey more so than like cookie-y, but they also don't crumble, if that makes sense. It kind of like stuck in my mouth afterwards. I don't know, maybe that's just because they're still hot. But I don't know, they're fine. Like, I would probably make them again if I had another like overripe banana. Because that's just something new, you know, you have overripe banana, you're like, okay, what am I gonna do with it? They give me like healthy vibes. But they are definitely more of a like, oh, like I have a overripe banana, I'll make these cookies, they'll use the banana, they'll taste well enough, I can eat them when I'm having like a little, you know, I want something sweet craving. But I wouldn't necessarily make them for like a party. I'd have to try them again with like vanilla, add in some cinnamon, just like some extra flavor. They just like, I don't know, they're just like missing that extra punch. I mean, once again, this was not following the recipe completely. I don't have the matcha powder, which I'm sure it helps it. Maybe, I don't know, just, yeah, they need some extra seasoning in there to give them that like 1-2 punch. Like, you know what, I think brown sugar would taste really good in this. Ideas? Okay. See, I'm like gonna have trouble stop eating them. They taste like they're not sweet enough that they have a more snackable factor where it's like I can just keep eating them without being like, oh, this is rich. Personally, I would eat those as like a breakfast food because that's the type of trash I am. But yeah, they're good. That was my take on this recipe. It's my Selena look. Very, classic. We're classic. Classic. We have a bun. We're so elegant and just beautiful and glowing and learning new things and making our own food and eating healthy. That's what we're doing. Is this another thumbnail? Should this be a thumbnail? I don't like that my sink is in it though. But the lighting is better on this side. Bye bye.